What's up, guys? We're playing Divinity Original Sin 2. My name's Joe.
My name's Ed. First of all, we want to give a huge thanks to Larian, the developers of the game, for providing us with this copy so that we could cover it. You might remember we covered the first game. Maybe it was last year. And that's a game that I have endless enthusiasm for. Let's go ahead and we're going to load a very old save file because I don't want to show you any spoilers. In fact, maybe I'll blur that out just now. All those saves so that nothing is spoiled for you. But this is the sequel to the very well-received Divinity Original Sin, which also got an enhanced edition release.
I played that one.
You have played
on the PS4.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the first game is fantastic, and this one...
I didn't finish it, but I haven't finished it yet. I was playing it like a month ago. I haven't played it for a little bit, but...
It is a very... well, is it old school? It's a CRPG. It's a top-down tactical RPG.
Yeah, the combat is turn-based.
It's turn-based, yeah.
But the time in between combat is not turn-based.
So if you're a fan of, like, you know, everybody always mentions these, but Baldur's Gate, you know, Neverwinter Nights, those style of games, you'll feel right at home here. And for me, I could never get into those games, but Divinity Original Sin, the first game...
It feels like playing a tabletop game, but it's a little bit faster because it does all the math for you.
Yeah.
It really has that Pathfinder and Dungeons & Dragons feel to it.
So the game was in early access for a while, actually. It was out on Steam in early access, and I tried to avoid seeing any footage of it or reading anything about it.
Yeah, Ed's really into Divinity Original Sin, if you guys don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the few games that I've gone back and played long after the fact. One of those games where you can... where you can make a completely different build every time you play. You know, you can go with for like scoundrels, where you backstab everybody, or you can have a group of persuasion failure. So anyway, we just stumbled into the town square here, and this is pretty early on in the game, so I don't think we've done any events yet. So one of the few things that I wanted to do in this video was to give you a breakdown of the combat and a little bit of the exploration, because there is so much. There is so much to show. Do we want to bribe this lady, or do we want... We could just kill her. We could just kill her, but I think we have to fight everybody.
Laugh and wallop her in the face with your coinbers. That's kind of fun.
I know, Joe. I'm a big fan of the the humor in the game. The writing and the voice acting I find them to be very good. I actually find them to be an improvement over the first game. So I know a lot of people kind of thought the first game had some slightly cheesy voice acting, but it's been it's been improved all across the board. So this is, oh, by the way, this is Act 2. The first act of the game, basically, you are trying to get out of an island prison. And obviously, you know, the whole game won't just take place there. So eventually you are going to get out. And this is basically the very first moments of the second act of the game. So I'm not going to try to spoil too much, but, oh, cool. So we're going to fight.
Everybody else ran away.
Yeah.
See, our main character here is this lizard.
Oh, yeah, let's zoom in on our lizard.
It's Ed. What did you name him, Ed?
No, he's called the Red Prince.
Oh.
So actually... all of these characters are origin characters. The game, compared to the first one, this game has several pre-made characters which have their own storylines.
Oh, okay.
And these
so you didn't name him the Red Prince?
No,
huh?
no.
Okay, it doesn't seem like something that you would name a character.
And there are 2 more of these characters, so 6 in total, where they each have their own backstories. They each have their own quests in the game. And they all get resolved as you continue to play.
I like to name my characters on the fly without really putting much thought into it. I give myself about 5 seconds, and the first thing that comes to mind is when I name my characters.
All right.
I went in Castlevania Curse of Darkness for PS2. I named my water golem Little Ricky.
Little Ricky!
And he followed me throughout that title. He was my favorite follower.
Sounds like a cool dude. So let's see. So just like in the first game, you have a lot of elemental attacks in this game. It's all about... playing with the elements and making them work in your favor. So in the first game, for example, you could make it rain. You could make it rain with a rain spell, and then it would make all the enemies wet or chilled, and then you could freeze them with a freeze spell. And because they were already wet to begin with, they were easily frozen.
Yeah, and there's always something, not always, but frequently there's something in the environment. Like explosive barrels are a pretty obvious one, but sometimes you can put like gas on the floor.
Yeah,
something
like
that's flammable. and then use fire on it. There's
fact,
there's a lot of things like that in this game that if you're observant, you're rewarded for it.
I might have a barrel of ooze that I've been carrying around, or like a barrel of oil that we can just throw on the ground and show. That would be cool. Yeah, look. Okay, oil flask. So here's what we'll do.
We can do exactly what I just said.
Oops. Here's what we'll do. We will.
Yeah, this game, there's always in the first game, and I assume in this one, there's always multiple answers to every combat and multiple answers to every puzzle.
I didn't mean to do that. I just threw it. I didn't actually.
You didn't activate it.
I placed it. I placed it on the ground. That was
there.
dumb.
You go. Throw it.
That's not gonna happen.
Give it a good throw.
Now I feel like a chump. We'll try it again next time our turn comes around. So yeah, you can put like a puddle of oil on the ground and then ignite it with fire. You know. Oh, we can do it. I think we can do it with this spell too. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do it this way. So let's see. So our goal is to survive here, obviously. All right. So we've got some oil on the ground, and let's use an explosive arrow to ignite it. And this guy is gonna get wrecked.
I think the visuals are improved in this.
Yeah, I would say that everything is improved. Yeah, everything in this game is improved over the first.
It looks a little bit more crisp than the first game.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way to say it. I think that's a decent way to put it.
And they've really capitalized on the tilt shift photography sort of style. Can't quite see it here, but anytime you're out in the world and exploring, you really notice it. It's got a distinctive style.
I really appreciate that you picked the lizard guy.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
I like the monster characters in games.
I quite
like
him.
Blanca in Street Fighter.
And also, every single line in the game is fully voice acted, which is staggering because I think it's something like 83,000 lines.
Is there even more than the first one?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I would expect it. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was ridiculous. Some of the voice acting in the first one, I felt like it was a little slow. Like they read it a little bit too slow and overacted, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, maybe.
We haven't seen enough of it in this one to know if it still has. If it's still like that.
There we go. So again, there's a huge focus on crowd control in this game, just like there is in the first game. But one of the huge changes in this game is that there is an armor system, where every enemy and you as well, all your characters have these two, this white bar and this blue bar, which represent your physical and magical armor, respectively. And whereas in the first game, you could, like, on turn one, you could just be like, all right, I'm going to freeze these 6 guys, and then I get, nobody can attack me for the first turn. So in this game, instead, you have to reduce their armor. Like, if you want to freeze somebody, you have to reduce their magic armor to 0 before you can actually freeze them.
Or does every enemy have that?
Every enemy. Well, most enemies. Some enemies don't have...
Seems like that might get annoying, but...
No, I actually find it to be an improvement. I know a lot of people feel differently, but I find it to be a big improvement because in the first game, that's all you ever had to do. Or like... Yeah.
Maybe it made it too easy.
I think in this game, it's... Yeah. I think it was too easy in the first game to crowd control, and that's all you ever had to do. Like, if you just had 2 archers, you could always use knockdown arrows to make enemies knock down for a turn or two. And in this game, you can't always just do that. You have to strategically think of a way to remove either their magical armor to use a magical debilitating attack, or remove their physical armor. So you have to make a choice. So to me, it feels better. Plus, you get that armor as well, so you can't just be instantly CC'd. So a lot of the times, your strategy might involve reducing all their magical armor so that you can charm them.
CC'd.
Crowd controlled.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people might not know that.
Oh, here's a good example. So you can see Magister Carl here, or Carol, has no physical armor and no magical armor. I want to turn him into a chicken. We can do it, and we can see that our skills here.
Yeah, CC'd.
Yeah.
Chicken clawed.
Most of the skills in the game are resisted either by physical or magical armor to some extent. But so let's see, we can move right over here, and we can use Chicken Claw. And because this guy has no physical armor, he can't resist it, and you are guaranteed.
Oh,
you are guaranteed.
It's hard to resist a Chicken Claw.
Yeah. It's one of the best actions in the game, actually. I can also make it rain. I can put out some of this fire. I can give myself some physical armor. So there's plenty of ways to regenerate your armor and to heal your HP. And there are just as many, if not more, ways to combine elements into interesting combinations as in the first game. So this is how a lot of the fights will also turn out, which is to say they are long affairs. They're long, turns take a while, you really got to think about it, This is a game where you need to set aside
some time.
Sometimes 30 minutes or more for a fight. Most of my fights in this game have lasted longer than that. Because you don't ever just want to rush in. Let's see.
Hey, we did kind of just jump into a battle here.
Yeah, I didn't
in this
mean
episode,
to
but
didn't mean to do that actually.
that's all right.
Yeah.
We can show the battle first, and then some other stuff after.
Yeah, we don't have to show the whole thing either. We can always just duck out. Oh, he just knocked us down.
And this could be a long episode,
Might be.
but you already know that because you saw the length of the episode before you clicked on it. But we don't know
Uh-oh.
that because we haven't finished recording it yet. So you know something we don't.
So my main character is almost dead.
Hmm.
Let's see. This is not looking good, actually. I'm not playing to my best here, because not at my best, because I'm trying to talk and play and all this other stuff. Let's kill this chicken. What else can we use?
Nail bomb grenade. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Should we use?
You know, when I was playing, I just blew all my grenades and
Yeah, the first game.
exploding items.
It was amazing. The first
Yeah.
game, you could just grenades and like all sorts of explosive things were some of the best.
That chicken is on fire.
Yeah. 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 Wow, look at all these.
Are these all the enemies?
My god, you know what happened?
What?
We aggroed the rest of the town.
Oh.
Look at the map. Look at the mini. This is new. So this includes all the merchants.
Oh. So can we escape?
We c-
This appears to be
This is unwinnable. And
a
also
battle that we may want to escape.
Yeah. This is one of those games where you should make quick saves often because you are going to run in situations like this.
Oh yeah, this guy who used to be scared appears to be
Ooh.
aggressive now. Pickpocketing. That seems like the correct course of action here.
This is really bad. This is really bad because this town square is where you spend about half the game doing your trading. So we don't want to actually do this.
All right, so welcome to Game Soup.
Welcome to Game Soup. We'll show some other cool abilities before we peace out and show you something else. What else can we do here?
Bloodsucker.
Bloodsucker. That heals you. We don't need it. Alright, let's get out of here. I'm going to... Don't look because there might be some spoilers. We will, we'll load up at another save point and see where we are. So it is a giant, giant game.
I expect nothing less.
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, I think it's comparable to the first game in size. It might be bigger. It's hard to compare them directly.
Yeah,
But
you probably haven't finished this one yet.
no, but I am many, many tens of hours in. I think I'm in the final act right now. It's hard to say. All right, so let's see where we are here.
We're at the dock.
Oh yeah, so this is where we were up here in we were over here in town square. So this is only part of the Act 2 map. You can see how gigantic this is. I mean, it might not look all that big, but these
It
are
looks big to me.
yeah. And there's a lot of obviously quest markers and such. So, all right.
This is only one part of the game.
This is only one part of the game. I think the game has 3 or 4 maps of that approximate size.
Jesus.
So it's a pretty large game. And if you love picking things up like me, that's
like
why
a rotten, disembodied hand.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why, at least for me, the game takes a very long time to play. Because there is a lot of inventory management. If you're like me and you like to pick everything up, there's a lot of inventory management. Oh, there's a rat over here. By the way, in this game you can talk to animals?
Yeah, you could talk to him in the first one too.
Yeah.
You had to have an ability, right?
Same for this one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But this lizard just happens to know how to converse with rats. And it's good because they can give you hints. They can tell you about secrets that you might not otherwise know about. All right.
Does the rat have voice acting? I didn't hear him talk.
They do. They do. Let's.
I remember the voice actor for the cat in the first one was a little obnoxious.
Maybe it already played and it's not playing again. Maybe it's just a bug. I don't know. I mean, with any game like this, the game just came out. When did it come out? September 14th? Damn it.
Sometime in September.
I had this written down. I wish I had I wish I had,
It's out. That's all we really need
It's
to know.
out.
It's
Yeah.
out. You can buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
Check it out.
But they're just getting ready to launch the first patch in the next couple of days here, and I'm sure by the time you see this, it will be out. But
You can nosy around camp, but watch it. The docks are restricted. Even I'm not allowed down there.
you think that's corny, Joe?
If you come back,
I love it. I love the voice acting. The first game in particular had a really goofy sense of humor. This game is actually slightly more serious, and the plot as well is a lot more well developed. And I'm not gonna say mature because that's a ridiculous thing. I hate when people say that. Oh, the story is very mature. It's more
Yeah,
serious.
it is a story about a lizard man and his
Yeah.
band of mages. You
Yeah.
follow him on these old timey quests.
Where else can we go? Let's go to Paradise Down. Do I have a... Oh, I don't have that. Waypoint. So we have fast travel here, by the way, only to certain points. We can go to Paladin Bridgehead. So that's one of the great things about the game is you can... Oh, they're dead. No, they're not dead. Is you can
Are
just...
they sleeping?
They are relaxing.
Fine spawn, isn't it?
That seems like it.
I can't blame.
I don't know if I would say this is that
What does he have?
fine of a spot, just out in the middle of the wilderness here.
He's got a book on Elven tribal customs.
I don't know how anyone can relax in a world like this.
Suggest that she be...
Especially...
any of these kind of worlds where there's... We were just talking about this in our Hob episode.
Especially with all these pickpockets around.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's out to get you in these worlds. There's bandits and monsters wandering all over the world.
And everybody's just trying to...
I would spend all my time holed up in a bunker if I lived in one of these worlds. Christ.
One of the best strategies in this game is to pickpocket everyone. And run away before... Oh, they found out. Oh, they found out. Oh, she's chasing us. If
What's
she catches
she gonna
us...
do to this group of lizardmen?
So what happens is they demand that you open your bags. And if you refuse, they'll fight you. Even that random lady will just decide to fight you.
Why? Doesn't she know that she doesn't stand a chance?
Yeah.
What about that squirrel?
But then also, anybody else in the area will probably aggro to you as well, so... So one of the things you can do is you can transfer the equipment to another character.
Step back! You lizards don't know your own power.
Just like it was in the first game, you can solve every situation and every quest in about 1,000 different ways. It is physically impossible to complete the game in every single way that you can do it, even on 2, 3, or 10 playthroughs. Every quest, for example, you can kill every NPC in the game. It doesn't matter if it's every merchant or every key story character, you can kill every single character, which means there has to be a way for you to still progress the story when that happens, right? So they had to literally think of everything in this game.
That sounds very difficult to figure out.
And they did it in the first game too, and it worked. So that's one of the admirable things about the first game, and definitely about this one as well.
Definitely. That is a design problem I would never want to solve.
Yeah, that's a design problem that people have been trying to solve for years and years and years, and this is probably the closest I've ever seen anyone come close to really, really having a grasp on it. Like that battle just now, if we had ended up fighting all of those merchants, then for the rest of this area we would never have anybody to trade with.
And that would be a bummer.
That would be a pretty big bummer, yeah. You could potentially ruin your game,
This looks like an elven breeding ground, but I've never seen one for myself.
So real quick, I'll also pull up the inventory. Each of your characters has their own inventory, which you can freely exchange things between. There's a lot of crafting materials, a lot of equipment. You're going to be doing a lot of comparisons for equipment and skill books, which you can buy or find pretty much anywhere. And just like in the first game, there's really no defined classes. It's pretty much you can just choose whatever you want to put points into. So Huntsman will put points into bow and arrow skills. Necromancer.
You got some Necromancer here, I see.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So Necromancer has its own skill books, but also it just has this base ability where it heals you. It's like Life Leech, kind of. Some of these just have some
like a
interesting...
passive.
Yeah. And like this one, Polymorph has its own set of skills, but also gives you one free attribute point, which basically means strength or finesse or intelligence or any of these. So certain skill
Memory.
sets.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
There's no wisdom, then.
No. Well, yeah. So in this game, that would be intelligence, which would scale your magic damage, or memory, which affects
Oh, how many spells you can remember?
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it was actually quite a bit different in the first game. In this game, it's, I would say, streamlined, because these are all the spells that you have ever known, and you can just freely equip them and unequip them at any time, and this will always be your setup. You know.
Oh, right. I see.
Yeah, exactly. So you can learn skills from all sorts of different classes of magic, or you know.
Did you just unequip some of them?
I did.
Oh.
I did. So let's see. Let's sort this out. You got tons of crafting materials. Oh, look, a barrel of oil. Let's see. What can we do to make that explode? I have an idea. This will be fun.
Ouch.
I just thought that would be fun. So, as you can see, I'm not very organized, but it's very easy to be organized because you can use these pouches and backpacks and such. But let's look at the crafting real quick. The first game had a very extensive crafting system. This one is actually not as complex as the first one. I think there are comparatively fewer options, but there is still a ton to craft. And you pretty much have to.
Well, that's good news, Ed. Because I'm not a huge fan of crafting.
No? I am. I mean, this game and the first game, it's easy to do. It's not like there's no skin off your back, you know? And, you know, I can't remember right now, but did the first game have recipes like this?
I mean,
I think it did.
I'll do it,
Yeah.
but in a game like this, I want to progress the story, and I enjoy the tactical parts of it, like the combat tactics, more than the preparation element of, of a game like this.
Yeah, I do like to get it to move the plot or the game forward whenever I can. Let's make firestorm grenades. We can throw those at somebody. Yeah, in the first game, man, grenades were so much fun.
But it does open up a lot of options. A lot of people like that, I think. I know.
Yeah. Rocky River Frog.
He's level 1. Sounds pretty easy. Oh, we're not going to battle him. We're just going to talk to him.
Well, we could talk to him and then kill him.
I'm gonna try and slip through the back way myself.
There we go. So if we hadn't talked to this guy, we wouldn't have known there was a back way.
Ribbit challenge.
What? A tribute challenge?
A challenge. So, that's like a warning, I guess. But we could also just ignore his warning. I did not go in this way. Last time I actually did go in the back way. This looks dangerous. This looks really
I don't know
dangerous.
I don't know what you're talking about. I see poison, some kind of a crazy plant.
This is also
a
cursed
barrel with
poison.
a fire symbol on it.
Yeah, oil barrel. This is a cloud of static, like electricity.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also cursed. There are also cursed and blessed surfaces in this game. Blessed and cursed, which is a change from the first game. In the first game, you only had a poison surface and an electric surface and a fire surface.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Yeah. But in this game, they've built upon that, and you can. If you remember in the first game, you were sorcerers. That was your role. Okay. I should have expected that. I walked over a trap which ignited us.
Here comes another one.
I'm afraid.
What happened to the rest of the crew?
They're afraid to walk forward because their AI knows that they're going to walk into some cursed fire. And they don't want to do that.
Well, our main guy made it through, and that's all that really counts.
Oh, look, here's another trap. I have an idea. Bet we can go up here. Oh! I was going to say, you know what they probably want us to... Where's that ladder? Wasn't there a ladder here
It was
just
blown
now?
up.
Was
I
it?
believe it was destroyed in the fire.
No. Is it...
The Great Game Soup Fire, as it will be remembered in history.
Oh my god. Alright, well,
Everything was lost.
I was going to get up here and, like, lure some bad guys over.
Everything was lost except for Ed's life.
Do you think this is a trap? Mupper. Steel is gold.
Is that a guy? Is that his name?
Is that a roll?
I would just keep walking. I don't think there are any more traps. Oh,
You think?
our boys have approached.
I love the explosions in this game. So, cursed fire. Well, one of the many ways we can get through here is to, for example, we can use a skill like a huntsman skill that lets us jump like a huge gap like this, so we can just jump right over it.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So
So like a
long.
barbarian
Yeah.
ability.
Or another thing we can do, and this makes its return from the first game, is we can use teleportation, like pyramids. Yeah, teleport
Oh
pyramids.
yeah, I remember those. You can
Yeah.
teleport to each other, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So you can split your characters up. You can have two of them go one way, two of them go another way, and you don't ever have to join them back up again. Or you can use that, for example, you can throw the teleporter pyramid across a gap and then teleport to the other side. You know.
Very useful.
Yeah.
Guards ahead. They don't
Oh.
look friendly.
And in this game, you get 4 of them. So in the first game, you only
Yeah, I
got
got
2.
two, right?
Yeah. And that was a really nice touch because that means every character can use one. Every character can always be holding one, you know? Uh-oh.
Work getting past, aren't you?
Oh, those guys don't look friendly.
No.
We better catch up our buddies here.
I think last time I got through here without fighting. I think these guys... No, I didn't. I killed
They
them.
look like they can be reasoned with.
I'm sure there is a way. There are still, like, persuasion checks and charisma checks and stuff in the game, but I didn't put a lot of points into those. I mostly put them into combat skills.
Well, then you're probably going to wind up doing more battles.
In fact, here's one of those persuasion checks now. So this character was my... Oh, she was a ranged character, so finesse is what scales with her skills. Persuasion failure.
We've had a lot of those tonight.
So we can talk to him with our lizard and see if that convinces him.
Now turn around and see if you have the same luck.
He peers at
In fact, one of our characters that's in the party now has
Well, what did you say?
here we go, some personal backstory with this clan, so to
Oh,
speak.
there you go.
It's this guy. So because he's one of the origin characters, he has some existing history in the game's world.
All right. Well, I'm intrigued.
Oh, this is where there was a huge fight here earlier in the game.
Maybe that's why I ain't landed a mark in a while. I'm
We
unhappy.
can just sneak around. Let's pickpocket these
Maybe
guys.
I'm just horny.
They were nice enough to let us in.
Yeah. That's one thing I didn't do enough of in this game.
Let's give them a good...
Oh, I can't.
Oh.
They're too smart. They saw right through our traps. Let's try it with this. I think the red lizard is my main pickpocketer, or my main sneaker. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Hey, it's a good living here.
52 gold.
You know that.
All right.
Your living is nothing if you're unhappy.
Ancient Empire Tome.
Never knew you to be
I don't want
sentimental.
those other books. What else do we got? Oh my God! Look at that money.
Not sentimental.
All right. All right.
Unhappy people are.
Oh crap!
Oh, did they spot you?
They are much smarter in this game. So when they notice, like you saw there, we didn't even get time to run away. Like they just noticed, and if you're nearby, they'll actually start walking around to find you. They'll like walk a circle, you know.
Oh,
And if
wow.
you're nearby, they'll find you, and this is what happens. Now we're in a fight. So we didn't even get a chance to bribe them or anything.
The entire town is fighting us.
Yes. Yes. And I actually did this fight on a previous file.
It seems like there can be more enemies or more characters in the line of... Oh, no, it's just a loop. It just
Yeah.
loops around. I see. Yeah,
This gray marker here is the end of the turn.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different in this game how characters take their turns in combat. I think before it was based on your initiative
Yeah.
and maybe your speed. In this game, it's I guess round robin. So no matter what your initiative is, you go first, but then they always get a turn, and then you always get a turn, and then they always get a turn. It's always you're switching off between characters.
That's an interesting design choice.
It's different. There are some like very, very big mechanical changes like that from the first game, but I mean overall they haven't bothered me, and I found them.
That kind of evens it out. That doesn't really
Yeah.
that gives you less incentive to improve your initiative then.
It does, yeah. I didn't realize that until partway through the game when I was already like trying to max it out on one of my characters. But yeah, there's some pretty big mechanical changes that I find are basically in the sense of, like, you know, Mass Effect 1 had like a pretty clunky inventory, and there were a lot of things about that game that were super clunky, like the UI and such. And then Mass Effect 2 just kind of did away with all that and made it really just like a streamlined experience. I feel like this game is doing that for Divinity Original Sin 1. You know, like this game has taken a lot of the mechanics from the first game, but streamlined them in ways that are more obvious on the surface and also easier to use and easier to understand.
Right.
So like the initiative system, right? Like in the first game, it was really like esoteric. There was a lot of min-maxing going on, and you had to like read over your tooltips and make sure you knew what every stat did and the initiative. But here it's just straightforward. Teams take turns attacking. Individuals with higher initiative will move up in turn order, which is true, but there's no longer like maybe 3 of your guys and then 2 of their guys and then your
Yeah,
last
you can
guy.
get a significant advantage
Yeah.
if you up your initiative in the first one.
So
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it really would matter. It doesn't seem like it would really matter much.
I
Increase your initiative in this one.
Yeah. And you know, I think it's just a choice. It's just like a stylistic choice in this game. Like, just because of the fact that it's taking turns doesn't make it any better or worse objectively. I think it's just, you just bounce around that, you know? You just have a different way to balance your combat encounters.
I like those colored borders, those purple borders that show you kind of the combat terrain.
Yeah.
It's more clear than in the first game.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell what's going on and see the different areas of the battlefield.
Yeah, they've really polished up every aspect of the first game, actually. Pretty much every aspect. I can't think of a single one that I found in the first to be better. Also in this game there's a new mechanic of height during combat. So you can see I'm standing on this very slightly raised platform.
Yeah,
if I was up
you're
here,
on
for
stage.
example, yeah, like if I excuse me, if I was up here, for example, and I shot down at this enemy over here, I would get a bonus because I'm at a higher elevation. You know, and because this is a ranged character,
Yeah.
I would put points into her ranged, or his ranged abilities, and he would get a bonus whenever he shot from a height. You know, so you can build your characters in a lot of different ways. That's just one of the ways that I chose to build this dude, Ifan. He's got that nice looking crossbow. Sometimes I find myself just doing this during combat,
Checking out your guys.
which is just to say looking around and just checking it out. Oh, and here's a drug pipe. Maybe a bong. Is that what a bong is?
Looks more like a hookah, but without all the cords coming out. That's what they're called. Cords.
That's chords. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Oh man, my voice is getting hoarse. This happened the first time when we covered Divinity 1 because I just couldn't stop talking. So anyway, mosquito swarm. That sounds good, right? Does that sound promising? That sounds pretty promising. But again, since all the enemies have their magic armor and their physical armor, we still have to knock that off somehow. So let's just move on with this combat a little bit. Alright, so we're going to try to knock off some of this armor. Okay, now that she has no armor, we can use our taunt ability down here. And you can see in the tooltip it says resisted by physical armor. And now that she has none, this is guaranteed to work.
That's odd. A taunt could be resisted by
Yeah.
armor.
It is weird, but I mean, once you get over the initial, that is weird.
Yeah, the flavor doesn't make sense, but mechanically
Yeah.
it probably is better for the game. It's probably more
Yeah.
balanced, so.
Like anything other than just a default attack is going to have some form of resistance. You know, anytime you try to CC in the game, anytime you try to crowd control by freezing or shocking or blowing things up, they're always going to have some sort of resistance, you know? And like in the first game, they used this saving throws system, which I guess is a callback to like D&D.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They're called saving throws,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I never understood that. I never put points out of those because it always just seemed over my head. But this system, I think on the surface makes much more sense.
Yeah, there's different kinds of attacks in those kind of games. You'd have to roll like a will save or a fortitude save. Those are two
Yeah,
frequent saves that you might have to roll
and I think those are
in those games.
those are translated via physical and magic armor, but it's just done in a slightly different way that I think makes it more accessible. You know, but that's just me.
It's not so random in this. It's more you just have to whittle their
Yeah.
armor down rather than count on a random roll.
It is a lot less random than the first game, I will say that. But again, that was a game that you could just cheese. You know, you could save scum your way through it. Turn 1, let's just shock everybody so they can't move for 3 turns. And in this game, that's pretty much impossible.
Well, we still have backstabbing.
We still have backstabbing. Jesus, I love backstabbing in this game. I don't want to hurt these characters, because they're my characters. So as far as the combat to exploration ratio, I think it's about the same as the first one. I find myself looking forward to combat more than I used to in the first game. I mean, it was enjoyable, don't
That's
get me
good
wrong.
because there's
but-
a lot of it.
Yeah, but I feel like the encounters this time around are even better. I think they're overall better designed. now that there are some different systems at work, especially with the ranged characters being able to attack from a height and get bonus damage. It seems much easier to get summons. Like, I think at this point in the game, only a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 of my characters have summons, but in my actual save file, all 4 of my characters have different familiars or what have you to summon. So you're really controlling 8 different characters at once, you know?
Wow.
So, and the battles are bigger. There seem to be more enemies generally in this game than the first. Like, more enemies at once, you know? So there's a lot to it.
Yeah, the animation seems better too.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, pretty much everything seems to be better.
And they seem to have
Looks
really...
a little more natural.
Yeah.
The animation in this one.
I think they did a really great job. Can we get some of that tilt shift, please? Maybe not. Maybe not. But, I mean, just like in the first game, I mean, look how preloaded this is for environmental effects. Like, we have a puddle of oil, a puddle of water, and an oil barrel. This is just begging to be wrecked and destroyed. So maybe we will do
What about
that.
those logs? Do those start rolling if you blow
These?
it up?
Where?
Probably not,
Over
right?
there? Nah, I don't think so.
On the right side.
Oh, no, those are just decoration. I think. I mean, we'll try it. I'm pretty sure there's decoration, but...
They
let's
don't
see.
look like something that would move.
We don't have any fire arrows on us.
There's a lot of decision making.
There-
Terror grenade.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
So that's resisted by magic armor, and I don't think anybody has no magic armor. No, so let's go ahead and lose my voice.
It's been a while since we recorded an ep
Yeah,
of GS.
months. No, it hasn't been
Not
months.
months. Maybe a month. It might have been a month
I think
by
it's
now.
about a month, yeah, at this point. Like 1 month.
We have released some videos, but we've been on, not really hiatus, but half hiatus as we finish our title. And also we had some other stuff going on.
Did I mention yet how the first game in the series, Divinity Original Sin, is one of my favorite games of all time?
I don't know if you mentioned it, but I knew that.
It's true, and this is a strong contender to take that title. Possibly top 3 games of all time. And actually, so when the first game came out, it was received well enough, right? Got like solid scores. This game has been getting occasionally, I think it got a 10 from GameSpot, like a perfect 10. And I never expected a game in this genre, particularly at this point in gaming history, to do so well. Especially a game like this that has like kind of a goofy sense of humor and has some things that not everybody will enjoy, you know? Like a very slow style of gameplay and combat.
Slumberjack.
Slumberjack. Oh, also there's the co-op thing. We didn't even touch on that. If you have 3 friends, you can play this game as a 4-player game, you know?
Yeah, the first one you can play 2-player, but that one wasn't 4-player, was it?
You know, I don't know
I don't
because I
think
never
so.
did it. I never got around to doing that. Because you're my only friend. And we didn't even play it at the same time. That's the worst part.
Yeah, I have it for PS4
Yeah.
also.
I think this is out on... Is this out on consoles too? It is, right? It is. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, also, I'm pretty sure there's controller support. I'm pretty sure you maybe have to enable it because I think it changes the interface drastically.
Yeah, it would have to.
Local co-op is only supported when using controllers. You can change the input device by going back to the start screen.
Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't both use the mouse and keyboard
Yeah, in
at
fact,
the same time.
yeah, we can't do that now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it completely changes the UI because you can't like.
Yeah, it would have to
Yeah.
because you're 2 guys.
And not just that, just one person playing with the gamepad. It would have to change the way that you select your abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fire slug. Uh-oh. One of my characters died. Well, crap. Well, that just sucks. Elixir mixer. Alright. He's got points in almost everything.
Pretty good guy.
He is a pretty good guy. I'm gonna shoot him in the back. That's what I do to good guys like you. Anyway, I think this is This is a doomed battle. I don't think I'm going to win this one. But
Yeah,
how-
these pickpockets are tough.
we were the pickpocket this time, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we start this fight because we picked their pockets?
Yep.
40 minutes? And I feel like that's not... I feel like I could spend 3 hours talking about this game. And in fact, I would love to do some sort of analysis on this game at some point. There is just too much to talk about. Oh. I hate that. When you want to attack somebody, but you just get close to them and then you can't do anything.
Then you get pummeled.
You get pummeled, yeah. Oh yeah, also from the first game, the amount of action points that you get every turn is severely, it's reduced. But it's sort of like stat squished, you know? So every point is worth more. Where in the first game, you might have, like, I can't remember how many, like 8 or 10 action points every turn. Now you only start with 4 every turn, but each one lets you walk farther, you know?
Right.
And every time you attack, it costs 2, so you can always do at least 2 attacks every turn.
It's simplified.
Yeah, it is definitely simplified. So, and again, that's just a personal preference thing. It's just different. I don't think it's necessarily better or worse.
Yeah, and the first one was like every step you took a point almost.
Yeah. Whereas here, like, you can see... Oh, it's because this character's slowed, I think, or crippled, maybe? Slowed.
Might have been every 5 or 10 feet or something was a point, and then each attack had its own value of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 points that it would cost to use it.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, this isn't going well. That is a lot of electrified blood.
Yeah, I'm not doing that well. So... Oh, we already looked at these. These are, your combat skills.
The blood is incredibly vibrant in this game.
Is it? Man, this game just... It looks great.
It's definitely more vibrant. I like the colors more in this
Yeah.
one. The old one was a little bit more dull.
Oh, and then also we have our civil abilities, which are things like pickpocketing, sneaking, telekinesis. Just like in the first game, you can move things around somehow with telekinesis. And most of the talents from the first game are still in this game. There are a bunch of new ones, which give you some sort of unique ability, some unique passive ability for each of your characters. Oh, and new to this game is the tag system. So each of the characters that has an origin story has their own set of predefined tags. So for example, the Red Prince, who is a prince, has the noble tag.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, not surprising, right? And Red Prince, he has the Red Prince tag and the
I would-
hero tag. So it kind of makes sense, right?
It's in his name.
And these will, during like discussions and conversations, these will actually come into play. Sometimes you can use unique dialogue options that you wouldn't have access to normally, except that because you have these, you can use them. So, and then that gets you thinking down the path of how many different ways can you have the same conversation? The answer is probably infinitely many. Obviously not literally, but probably tens or hundreds of different ways, depending on who your character is. So this combat is not going well.
This is doomed, yeah.
This is absolutely doomed.
And I need to order Chinese food.
So Divinity Original Sin. I haven't finished this one, but based on the way it's shaping up to be so far, it is absolutely on par with the first game. It is bigger and better in so many different ways. I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you have friends. Even if you don't, it's a great one-player game. If you have a friend you want to play with, you are going to have a blast. I guarantee it. So thanks again to Larian Studios, which developed and published the game. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching.